One of the toughest things about aging for many of us is losing our senses, and for some, sight is both the worst and first to go. Well, one Israeli biotechnology company has come up with a tremendous therapy to hopefully put an end to such problems in the future. Joining me today is Dr. Charles Irving, PhD, the CEO of CellCure Neurosciences, to fill in the rest.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
So to begin, what does CellCure do? Can you break this down for us in the most easy way possible?
Okay. CellCure produces cells which will be used to transplant into the retina of the eye to replace cells which are degrading and degenerating because of age. And this is to treat the leading cause of visual impairment in elderly patients, and the disease is called dry form age-related macular degeneration. And it's a leading cause of visual impairment in persons over 55 years of age.
Right. I mean, this is one of the major, I don't know if diseases is the word, but ailments to affect people around the world, right? Not only in the United States, this is taking place here in Israel as well.
One of the major diseases of
disease
aging.
Is the right word?
Wasn't sure. It's a disease of aging, and it's one of the things that baby boomers like me have to look forward to.
Well, we all have to look forward to that one day, unfortunately. Right. So, so what inspired your focus on creating this treatment?
Well, it came from a combination of factors. First of all, Israel is a leading center in the use of stem cells to produce cells which have therapeutic value. And I was involved with the group of Professor Benny Rubinoff at Hadassah Ein Kerem Hospital, and he has a center, Human Embryonic Stem Cell Research Institute, and they were expert at developing various processes to convert stem cells into the various type of cells in the body. We have 220 different types of cells in the body, and if you give the right signals at the right time, you can steer one of these stem cells into that particular type of cell you want. And then he was in collaboration with Professor Eyal Banin, who's the head of the Macular Degeneration Unit of the Department of Ophthalmology at Hadassah. So there was a need, and there was a way to fulfill this need.
Now, talking about stem cells specifically, the use of stem cells has been a touchy subject for some. Questions of ethical practice have commonly become one of the bigger arguments. Where do you guys get your stem cells from, or your cells from? Okay.
First of all, we don't put stem cells into the body. We use only a small number of stem cells as starting material for the synthesis or the derivation of therapeutic cells, because they have a natural tendency and they want to divide and to differentiate to a particular type of cell. We are dealing with a type of stem cell, which is maybe the most controversial, but it really has the most potential from all the stem cells. And it's a human embryonic stem cell. It's derived from leftover blastocysts from IVF clinics, and the couples already have several children, and they aren't going to use any more of these. And these are just left in the cold liquid nitrogen year after year. And some of the parents and the couples donate their cells for medical research and also for commercialization at no cost. To us, and that's where our cells come from. They are about 3 or 4 days old when they're frozen, and then these cells really have no possibility of being implanted into the mother anymore because she's finished, and they're not the highest quality cells, so they're left over. And after 10 to 15 years, these cells can then be used for that purpose.
Interesting. Now, where can we find your products on the market? Are they available yet?
No, our product is in the development stage. It's past the preclinical development stage, and it's now in clinical trials at the moment in 3 hospitals in Israel, and will soon also be used in 2 hospitals, at least in the United States.
Well, it's a big deal, and it shows a collaboration, obviously, between Israel and the United States as well.
Yes, yes. We were very fortunate that as this project was first starting, and you know, Israel was a leading country for stem cell development, you know, from the very beginning of the field in 2000 and on. And it had more papers than many of the other countries, and it was a leader. And then there was a U.S. company called BioTime Inc., which is located in San Francisco, which also was a leader in stem cells and so forth, and had set up several companies. So they saw this possibility, and we saw it, and they bring to us expertise, know-how. We bring particular expertise and a real product, which we can develop from stem cells. And of course, they're a public company, so they can raise funds much more easily than a startup. So we rely on them for both funding and for marketing.
So what's next for CellCure?
Well, this is a product, you know, it takes very long to develop medical products. We're in a phase called phase 1-2, which is primarily to determine the safety of this product. And the next step is to show the efficacy. Once we do this, then we can move on to other products. The type of cell which we're developing now, which is called a retinal pigment epithelial cell, a long word, but we call it for short RPE, it is the cell which takes care of the photoreceptors. Okay. What happens when the RPE cells get old and can't keep up with all the demands of the photoreceptors, they die off, and a short time afterwards, the photoreceptor cells also die off. And the photoreceptor cells are responsible for collecting the light and processing it, then triggering a signal to the brain.
Right.
So the first product is these RPE cells, which are like the caretaker cells. And if we can replace them in time, we can spare the photoreceptor cells. The next product is actually to replace the photoreceptor cells themselves for another set of diseases that cause them to die off early. And of course, the ultimate challenge is replacing some of the nerve cells, the ganglion cells, which die in diseases such as glaucoma. Wow. So we look at this as like fruit on a tree. So the RPE cells are the low-hanging fruit, the photoreceptor cells are the middle-hanging, and at the very top of the tree there will be the ganglion cells for other diseases. So we have a possibility of treating all retinal diseases. And what's amazing is that this is a major disease and there is no treatment for it. For dry form age-related macular degeneration, there is no FDA-approved treatment.
So it looks you guys are really on a path to, you know, helping millions of people with one of the most common diseases that exists right now on the planet. Congratulations on the work that you're doing, and I think we're excited to see what happens.
Thank you, and we'll look forward to come back and report on future developments.
Sounds good.
Okay.